Hello friends, today we discuss about the alternative pathway of glycolysis, that is HMP shunt, also known as the pentose phosphate pathway. Hexose monophosphate shunt is an alternate pathway of the glucose oxidation for the production of NADPH and the pentose sugar. It is not involved in the generation of energy. The other name of the hexose monophosphate shunts are the pentose phosphate pathway, Dickens-Horecker pathway, phosphogluconate pathway and the shunt pathway. In the hexose monophosphate shunt, it is used to produce the ribose 5-phosphate and the nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, and the pathway occurs in the oxidative and the non-oxidative phase. Each comprises a series of reactions. About 10% of the glucose per day are entered in this pathway. In liver and RBCs, it is near about 30%. And the purpose of this pathway is generation of the reduced NADPH and pentose phosphate for nucleotide synthesis. The location of this pathway in the cytosol. And some following tissues are highly active in the HMP shunt, like liver, adipose tissues, adrenal gland, RBCs, testes, lactating mammary gland, and most of these tissues are involved in the fatty acids and steroids biosynthesis, which depend on the NADPH. The HMP shunt has two phases. The first one is the oxidative phase and second one is a non-oxidative phase. During the oxidative phase, the glucose 6-phosphate is oxidized with the generation of the 2 moles of the NADPH and 1 mole of the pentose phosphate with the liberation of 1 mole of the carbon dioxide. And during the non-oxidative phase, the pentose phosphate is converted to intermediates of the glycolysis. In the following picture, you can see that oxidative phase, the glucose 6-phosphate convert into the 6-phosphogluconate by the help of the enzyme glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. Then it convert into the 6-phosphogluconate by the help of the enzyme glucolactone hydrolase. And then it will convert to the ribulose 5-phosphate by the help of the enzyme phosphogluconate dehydrogenase. This is the oxidative pathway of HMP shunt. Now we discuss the non-oxidative phase of HMP shunt. It involves a conversion of the ribulose 5-phosphate to ribose 5-phosphate through a series of independent reactions. It is important to note that no NADPH molecules get created in this part of the HMP shunt. R5P in this reaction can be returned to the glycolytic pathway as fructose 6-phosphate. This step requires the transketolase enzyme with the presence of the thiamine cofactor. Thiamine also participates in the plethora of other metabolic reactions throughout the body. It is used by the enzyme alpha-ketoglucarate in the Krebs cycle for the enzyme pyruvate dehydrogenase as well as branch chain ketoacid dehydrogenase. The reaction of the pathway, the sequence of the reaction of the HMP shunts are divided into two broadly categories, oxidative and non-oxidative. In the oxidative phase, glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase is an NADP dependent enzyme that converts glucose 6-phosphate to 6-phosphoglucolactone, and here reducing equivalents are accepted by the NADP. Here one molecule of NADPH plus H is generated, and this is rate limiting step in this pathway. 6-phosphoglucolactone is hydrolyzed to 6-phosphogluconate by the enzyme glucolactone hydrolase, and 6-phosphogluconate dehydrogenates 6-phosphogluconate to the 3-keto 6-phosphogluconate, which is spontaneously undergoes the decarboxylation to give the ribose 5-phosphate. Here one carbon of the 6-phosphogluconate is removed as carbon dioxide, and here second molecule of NADPH H+ is generated. And non-oxidative phase is concerned with the interconversion of the 3, 4, 5 and 7 carbons monosaccharides. Ribulose 5-phosphate is acting upon then epimerase to produce xylulose 5-phosphate, and ribulose 5-phosphate is converted to ribose 5-phosphate by the ketoisomerase, and the enzyme transketolase catalyzes the transfer of the 2 carbons from the xylulose 5-phosphate to ribose 5-phosphate to give 3 carbon glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and 7 carbon cetohepitulose 7-phosphate. Trans-ketolase is dependent on the coenzyme thymine and magnesium. In the next step, trans-sedolase transferred the 3-carbon fragment from the pseudoheptulose 7p of the glyceraldehyde 3p to give the fructose 6p and the 4-carbon erythrose 4p. And the enzyme trans-ketolase catalyzed the transfer of the 2-carbon from the xylose 5p to the erythrose 4p to generate the fructose 6p and the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Fructose 6-phosphate and the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate can be the further catabolized through the glycolysis and the TCA cycle. Glucose may also be synthesized from these two components. Here we discuss the summary of the HMP shunt. For the complete oxidation of the glucose 6-phosphate to the 6-carbon dioxide, we have to start with the 6 molecule of the glucose 6-phosphate. Of these 6, 5 moles are regenerated with the production of 12 NADPH. Now the regulation of the HMP shunt. The rate limiting step of HMP shunt is the reaction catalyzed by the glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase and the glucose 6-phosphate is regulated in the two ways. Allostatic regulation means the availability of the substrate NADP and the hormonal regulation, that is insulin. Now the significance of HMP shunt. HMP shunt is unique in generation. The first production is a pentosis and the second is NADPH. Are needed of the biosynthetic pathway and for other function. The pentose is very important in HMP shunt. Hexose are converted into the pentoses, and most important pentose is ribose 5-phosphate. This pentose and its derivatives are useful in the synthesis of the RNA and DNA. Next we discuss the NADPH importance. NADPH is required for the biosynthesis of the fatty acids and steroids. Hence, HMP shunt is more active in the tissues concerned with the lipogenesis, that is the adipose tissue and liver. Used in the synthesis of the certain amino acids involving the glutamate dehydrogenase and detoxification of the drug and the foreign compound by the cytochrome P450 requires the NADPH, and is also required for a process called the phagocytosis, and it is essential to maintain the integrity of the RBC's membrane and to keep iron in ferrous state. Used in detoxification of the H2O2 with the help of the glutathione as follows. In this diagram you can see that the detoxification of H2O2. Glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency is an inherited sex-linked trait. Deficiency seen in all the cells of the body but more severe in RBCs. In RBCs, HMP shunt is only means of the providing the NADPH, and also decrease the activity of G6PD impairs the synthesis of the NADPH's RBCs. This result in the accumulation of the methylhemoglobin and the peroxide in the RBCs, leading of hemolysis. And from clinical point of view, the glucose 6-phosphate deficiency in patients not show any clinical symptoms. Some of them develop the hemolytic anemia if they administered oxidant drugs or the exposed to severe infection. The drugs such as the primacoine, antimalarial drug, acetylcholine, antipyretic drug, etc. And the deficiency, genetic disorder associated with the HMP shunt. The most important syndrome we discussed, the Venkic-Korsakoff syndrome, the alternation of the trans-ketolase activity that reduced its affinity with the TPP. And this syndrome symptoms are the mental disorder, loss of memory, partial paralysis, and so many syndromes and symptoms are seen in the patient. Thank you so much. If you like my video, please subscribe and share.